the American people are living in a matrix. They don't understand the truth of how things are working in this country, you know. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. The very fact is that if you ask 100 people on the street, what kind of government is America supposed to be? 99% of them will tell you a democracy. America is supposed to be a democracy. But that's a lie. That's an illusion. The word democracy is not written into the Constitution at one time. It's not in the Bill of Rights. It's not in the Declaration of Independence. The Founding Fathers hated the idea of a democracy. They thought it was the worst form of government there is. And I agree with them. Because in a democracy, 51% of the people control 49% of the people. If you're part of the 49%, you're not free. America was founded as a constitutional republic. And in that constitutional republic that we have, 99% of the people can't take away the rights of 1%. You have your rights because you were born with them. You have God-given human rights that nobody can take away from you. The government, the majority, no matter who they are, I can't take away your rights. And that's what our founding fathers gave us. But the psychological operations that they do to us, they make us believe that we're a democracy and that majority rules, you see? And they want you to believe that. Because then they tell you this poll says this many want this and this many want that and this many want this, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Well, Hitler was elected.
Hitler was elected. Hitler did everything legally.
And in a constitutional republic, a minority is protected against a majority. Wasn't it Benjamin Franklin, to paraphrase, that said democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner?
Exactly. And then he also said, in a republic, the sheep would have a gun to protect himself. You know, and that's the truth. America's not a democracy, but you ask the most intelligent people what form of government America is supposed to be, they'll say democracy. Because that's what they've been brainwashed. They've been psyoped into believing that. They believe that we're in Iraq. They believe we're in Iraq to promote democracy. The word democracy, you hear George Bush saying democracy means freedom. No, democracy equals New World Order. Democracy equals slavery. The word democracy is not synonymous with freedom. It's the opposite of freedom. Democracy is the worst form of government you can have because it's majority rule. And the government can tell you exactly what they want to tell you to do because the majority wants it. I don't care what the majority wants. I live my life as I choose. And if I don't commit violence, theft, or fraud against another human being, I can live my life as I wish. That's my choice. And if I'm allowed to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, you learn from them. You grow as a human being. We're put on this earth to become the best individuals we can be, to fulfill our God-given potential, right? We're not here to put on this earth so that the government can tell us how to live our lives and what we must do. We put into these systems and these paradigms. No. The same thing in health. You know, if you're sick, you have to have a certain protocol. Nonsense. You know, be individuals. Think for yourself. Have critical thinking.
Democracy.
Yeah, democracy is very dangerous because that's mob rule. If you get 51%, then your rights become relative. 51% come and vote and say, well, we can do anything we want. How do you protect them?
So you think democracy is dangerous?
Well, yes, it's dangerous because 51% rules. That's how the minority gets cheated. You always have to, in a free society, you have to protect the minority. But why should the 51% said slavery? I mean, that's horrible. So no, to protect the minority, you cannot say that the majority can dictate rights. That is very, very dangerous. And the founders are very, very clear on this. They said, we don't even want a democracy. We want a republic. And I mean, it is extensively written how dangerous they considered a democracy, that 51%. And de Tocqueville, pointed this out as well, that it would be the dictatorship of the majority. The majority, when they're wrong, are very dangerous.
You know that all the polls show that the majority, in some cases an overwhelming majority of the American people want higher taxes on millionaires and billionaires, as the president likes to say. Why are the American people wrong when answering that question?
Well, because pure democracy sometimes leads to these ill-advised positions.
you know, when there's a war propaganda going on and they beat the war drums and everybody says 75% of the people want us to go to war, and then after 10 years they're sick and tired of it, doesn't mean it was right when 75% said something. This is the danger of pure democracy, when you demagogue and you attack somebody and say that we have to attack the wealthy. I don't mind criticizing, you know, the wealthy at times, and I criticize the bankers and the bailouts and the corporate people who got all the benefits, both when the financial bubble was being built, but then when it burst, they got bailed out, and then the people suffered. So, but this doesn't mean that we should attack wealth for the sake of wealth. We should stop all the subsidies to the wealth. Anybody's getting wealthy because they get contracts from the government, or because they're on the inside of the program where they get the bailouts. That's quite a bit difference. We should stop that, but not blanketly penalize people who make wealth and who have created wealth and provided great services for the consumer.